Welcome everybody to the latest episode of the Heirloom Radio Show. I am your host, Dennis Brown. I want to take the time to thank everybody for joining me. This show is brought to you by my new book, The Family Heirloom, Lessons on Life, Relationships, and Personal Development, which is available now, so make sure you pick up a copy. And speaking of my book, I had somebody ask me the other day what was the significance of the cover. And if you've been to my website, if you've seen the cover of my book, you'll see it's a representation of me and my daughter. And she's opening up a treasure chest and books are coming out. And the book is called The Family Heirloom because it's the passing down of knowledge. She's opening up a treasure chest full of information, full of new books, full of new knowledge. And actually the book was written from that perspective. The book was written for her. I was thinking, what is it that I would want her to know if I wasn't here anymore? So that's how the book came about, and I was actually just going to keep it for her within my family, but I figured there's a lot of people out there who could benefit from that as well, so I decided to make it into a book that's available for everybody. So make sure you pick up a copy of that, which is available now at Amazon.com as well as BarnesandNoble.com, and it's an incredible read, so make sure you pick up a copy of that. I got a great show lined up for you guys today. Today we're going to talk about the formula. You know, a lot of people have been following the same formula, of go to school, graduate high school. Some people stop right there. They just graduate high school and get a job. Other people follow the other formula of go to graduate high school, go on to college, graduate college, and get a job. But as the world changes, the formula changes. And of course, with the job climate being what it is right now, you can't follow that same formula anymore. At least not everybody. It may work for some people now still, but for the most part and for the majority of people, you can't follow that same formula anymore. As time changes, so does the formula. And if you don't know how to change with the times and keep up with the times and keep ahead of the curve, then you're going to be controlled by the times. So this show is all about that. So if you're a college student, a high school student, if you're out, you working a job, or you're looking to start your own business, or you know somebody who's in that position, then this show is for you. You definitely want to check this out. As the world changes and as circumstances change, your strategy needs to change with it to reflect this new reality and to be effective in this new reality. With the unemployment rate being what it is, a lot of people operating under that same formula and not switching up their strategy is going to fall by the wayside. And this is one of the most competitive times in recent history. You're not only facing competition from people within your school or from within your city or state or even country. We live in a globalized market now, a global economy. So all of you high school students, all of you college students, all of you people that's looking to start your own business right now, this is the most competitive market that you're going to face. So I want to talk to you guys about how to maximize your education and how to maximize your hustle. That way you can create allies and opportunities out of one of the most competitive times in recent history. If you think about it, there's a lot of people doing the exact same thing you are. Whether you're in high school and the person next to you is learning the exact same thing you're learning, same thing in college. People sitting there listening to the same lectures that you're listening to, studying the same books that you're studying from. And if you look at things from a business perspective of supply and demand, if I have, say, 50 refrigerators, and right now in the world, there's only 20 people who have a need for refrigerators, who actually want those refrigerators, then what about those other 30? The value on those refrigerators are going to come down because there's not a huge demand for them. Now, if you flip that on its head and look at the other side of the coin, if I have 20 refrigerators and there's 50 people who want them, then the price of those fridges are going to go up because there's a limited supply and there's a huge demand. So there's 30 people that's going to be out of luck. Now look at that first scenario of having 50 fridges and only 20 buyers, and add to that fact that you're not the only one selling refrigerators now. There's 3 other people who also offer the same product that you're offering. And that's the climate that we living in today. We living in the climate of that first scenario. Again, like I said, there's a lot of people who are doing the exact same thing you are. And these people are either going to be your competition or they're going to be your allies. You see, if they're your competition, you run the risk of losing what it is that you're after. But if they're your allies, you create a scenario where you never lose. You see, in competition, all of you guys are going after the same prize. But in reality, only one of you are going to claim it. But when you create allies, you create a I'll push you and you pull me scenario. I'll push you into your goals and you pull me with you. Or we team up and we bring our talents together and we box out everybody else who's going after the same prize, and we claim the prize for ourselves. You see, it's better to share the prize with an ally than to lose it all together to the competition. And you can use that victory that you're sharing with your ally as leverage to claim the next prize for yourself. So you don't always have to stick with them throughout the duration of your life or through the duration of your career, but you can use your ally strategically to accomplish a specific goal. Then you guys can break off and go your separate ways. You know, and I was talking to my sister recently about this. She's going to be a junior coming up this fall in college. And I was telling her, you know, the privilege people used to have, you know, they could graduate high school, go to college, graduate college, and then, you know, they had a job waiting for them in the field that they were going into. You know, but that luxury isn't there for the most part now. You can't follow that same formula. You can't rely on there being a job for you right after college. And the people that are relying on that formula are going to get a rude awakening as soon as they graduate and they get that college degree in their hands. You know, some people are going to luck up and find jobs, but other people are going to have to be more strategic. So I was trying to explain to her, you know, that I hope when she graduates, there's a nice job in the field that she graduates from and that she wants to pursue. I hope that there's a job waiting for her. But there's certain skills and strategies that she's going to have to employ to maximize her chances. And that's how this podcast came about. Now let's go back to that supply and demand scenario. You got so many people getting degrees in the same fields, going after the same thing, and there's a huge supply of people with this education. But there's not a huge demand for all of these people that have this education. You see, if you go out for a job and all of the other applicants has the same qualifications you have the same education that you have, you guys may come from different schools, but the fact of the matter is you guys probably got the same education if you majored in the same thing. You know, what separates you from these other applicants? You know, an employer can just close their eyes, spin around and point and come up with a person who's qualified for the job. What separates you from everybody else if you guys got the same lectures, studied out of the same books, practically have the same mindset when it comes to that particular position? So you're going to have to do things that separate you from the competition. You see, the fact of the matter is, if there's nothing distinct about you, then you're highly replaceable. And that's with any field, whether you're in school, whether you're in a relationship, whether, you know, you're building a business. If there's nothing that sets you apart from the competition, then what incentive do you give somebody to hire you over someone else who has the same qualifications? You know, why would a person buy the product from you when they can get it from a person right across the street or right next door who offers the exact same thing as you? You see, when you follow this formula that I'm about to lay out for you, you create a situation where you box out the competition and you claim the prize for yourself or for you and your allies.